rejection is totally okay. Like it is so okay. And many rejections are okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Donut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I am bringing you a Take the Donut interview with Erika Rosendale, who, Erika Miss Teal Rosendale, is a fine artist and muralist from Santa Cruz, California. Welcome, Erika.
Hello, thank you.
So happy to talk with you. We were just talking a little bit about a couple. I've spoken with a couple other artists recently. This has been such a fun pocket of the world to dive into, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say to my questions. Before we get into anything more serious, I have to ask, what's your favorite donut?
Ooh, good old sugar donut. It's like simple and the most satisfying mix of not too sweet, but it's like, squishy and just has all that. You still taste the butter, which, it's a key ingredient of the whole thing. So
Let
yeah,
the
we'll go with
simple
cheese.
ingredients shine. That's your philosophy, it sounds like.
And that's not always the case, but in this regard, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Well, I said just a little bit about you up front, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
Well, I started out making art as a little kid and drawing and classic, but I just never stopped. And I didn't know necessarily that I was gonna pursue art as a career, and I then really got into comic books and kind of developed a superhero complex around can be done, what can be done outside of the realm of normal. And I wasn't convinced that the world around me, the normal world, was like all that there is. Like I always believed in magic, and then through comic books and wanting to get as good as what I saw, like I could see that these artists had made this magical space, magical world, this magical dimension, and I wanted to be able to do that. So I dug in. And if you'd asked me however many years ago if I thought I was going to be a muralist, I would have absolutely had no idea. But eventually figured out that I needed to work big. So me working small is like I studied art in college, and very much have stayed like dedicated to my practice. But trying to be a gallery artist for years just wasn't what like the focus that I needed to be in a space working on a small scale turned into me trying to do big paintings and schlepping around big paintings, and eventually just that turned into I want to paint on walls. I just want to paint outside, preferably on walls, and that energy just is how I operate so much better. So it's been an interesting it's like a shortened version of the arc of my story, but from small to big. It's a quick little synopsis I can give.
That's beautifully said, and it resonates
Yeah.
for me in so many different ways, even though I'm not myself an artist. Like small to big has been a theme in my own world as well. And I think a lot of people can probably relate to the idea of sometimes you start with something that's not quite there yet for a while before you start to really narrow down to what is right. And so I love, that there are so many relatable things in what you said, even though it was very specific. But to reset this for people who have never seen a Take the Donut interview before, what is this? What is the point of Take the Donut? So for
Yeah.
me, Take the Donut is another way to say Carpe Diem. It comes from this really
Yeah.
weird thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but that became an object lesson for me in what it looks like to leave an opportunity behind. So I don't want to do that
Um,
anymore. I want to take the donut. So, really, this whole conversation is about going after opportunities, going after goals, and what does that look like practically speaking day to day? So, I want to start with this question for you. How are you with going after goals? What's that process like for you?
I'm pretty good at it, actually. I'm gonna. I feel like that's a lot of why I am where I am. And I'm where I am is um a full-time muralist. I travel and go fairly far sometimes, but I also have a pretty solid community in Santa Cruz. But I in the Bay Area, it's California in general, but uh, there's I go after a lot of opportunities and I don't get them all, and that's okay. And I keep going for more. And that was something that as a young person I had ingrained in me because I was always, like I said earlier, I was always interested in art, but I thankfully was, and I, I'm really blessed because I was encouraged. I was like always encouraged, like, no, you're actually like good at this. You should keep trying and keep going and keep doing it. I was supported, and by the family to go actually study it and leave California and go to the East Coast. Went to Boston University, came back, did the whole bartending thing, trying to just let's make enough money on the side so I can focus on what I think my creative ambitions are. And I said yes to everything. Like anything that came my way, I said yes. And was all of it good? No. But did I learn something? Yes. And I I think now I apply. So day to day, like I apply, maybe not every day, but a lot of my admin work and homework is applying to stuff, applying to mural festivals, street art festivals, public art calls, you name it. And I try to have a practice around, not wanting to give too much of my time away for free. But at the same time, that's just part of it. Like you're gonna, if you really believe in it, and it sounds cheesy, but believing is such a big part of this, and believing that even if, you do take the opportunity and it isn't maybe the right thing, there'll be another one. If this says no, then all right, next thing. And having an attitude that's both resilient and like attached and non-attached, like so dedicated yet also so not attached to it, attached to the outcome is a really interesting balance. But um yeah, there's if anything, sometimes it's a numbers game. You apply to just this much stuff, and the chances are you might not get any of them, but you might get the one, and the one might lead to, I've had many instances where the one thing led to something else over and over again.
So much of what you're saying is resonating for me. When you have a really big goal that you're going after, what keeps you motivated in the process?
Ooh. Good question. um Gosh, I guess I'm visualizing like what I feel like I want from it. I, it's hard to describe.
So,
I call this my vague ambition. It's just
so
like try.
it's like it's like feeling what success would look like
I
or
get, yeah.
seeing it.
I mean, like the classic manifestation, power of affirmation, like imagining how you would feel once it's already happened. And I think that or believing that it's going to happen. I mean, it is like a simple way to say it. And even if it's not going to happen the way that you think, maybe it will in another way. So there's some energetic stuff to all this. I kind of have to believe that, especially being a creative person, because so much of what I do, I'm like when people ask me, "What are you painting about?" or "What inspires you?" I'm like, it's too dark. It's too like what's in my brain is not what you think. It's like I'm being told, okay, I need more light, I need more dark, I need more color, I need more, this has to be this has to be this. It's technical, like, paint jargon, but I know that that's what has to happen. And like, that that knowledge is based on experience and skill sets and sure, practice, but a lot of it's based on
Yeah. Yeah.
the ether of the creative realm. So there's this kind of not so much blind faith, like, but like there's a strange faith involved, and I call it, yeah, the vague ambition. It's like you just keep shooting. I love that the phrase shoot for the moon and land among the stars, because I do thoroughly believe if you shoot far, yeah, you might falter, but you're still gonna land, somewhere.
Somewhere new and interesting and bigger than it was
Yeah,
before. This is
yeah.
beautifully said. So, okay, when we go after big things in our lives, a lot of times challenges come up, obstacles come in our way. For you, is there a particular brand of challenge that just comes up over and over and over again? Like, no matter what it is you have in front of you, you just always encounter this one thing. It's like your Achilles heel. Anything coming up for that?
It's the little things. Little things are my Achilles heel. And then becomes the piles of little things, like when the list of little things gets long, and then I lose my mind. It's like I have to call this person back, and then I have to this like the little, so the one phone call will like become the most stressful thing for no reason whatsoever. Absolutely none. But it's like I didn't do it when I was supposed to do it, or so, and I planned to do it, and so therefore it comes into this massive anxiety pile. So it's like the mini pile, mini list anxieties that are so silly, because I like when a big challenge comes, it's like I don't flinch, I don't blink, I just go, okay, here we go, like, and we're off. But then like the little piles are what get get creeped up.
Yeah,
Putting away my clean laundry.
there it is. Every time, right?
That's
Oh my goodness. I'm sure a lot of people are nodding their heads right now. So,
yeah.
okay, if you think back on your life, uh, personally, professionally, whatever comes up for you, what would you say is the biggest donut you've ever taken? Biggest,
Ooh,
yes, biggest thing you've gone after.
jeez. Um, Gosh.
This can
I
be a
mean,
really hard question for some people.
I mean, I guess I can just go back to deciding to go to art school, and I went to Boston University at the College of Fine Art, and I, I mean, it was an expensive choice. I had more affordable choices, like for me, for my family, like all the things. I was given the choice, which was cool. Like my folks were like, okay, here are the stats, and you're gonna have to do this in order to do this. But I made that call. I was like, I'm going for the harder choice, to to go pursue the arts. And I think when I did that, I never intended to do anything. Like I didn't intend to do something else. Like I was like, okay, if I'm gonna go get a fine art degree, like this is it. I'm absolutely 100% need to dedicate myself to this. Um, and then we had a grand recession right when I was about to get out of college. So it was maybe it was the second part to that was continuing to do it. Be like, well, I'm about to graduate in a recession, and everyone else who thought they had a job is just now going to join me and all of us artists who knew we weren't going to have jobs. So now we all get to figure this out, and that was what, like, however many years ago, and we're still all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's so true.
And I am so grateful that I have a creative degree, and that I've practiced this, and I've stayed dedicated to a creative practice, and stayed dedicated to learning more and continuing to learn, because I'm genuinely scared for like where our society's going right now. I mean, I kind of always was angsty teenager who like was punked out and hated everything, because oh, actually it turns out everything is screwed up. And like now maybe us creatives can actually say something about it. Maybe people are actually listening now.
Hmm.
Maybe we actually do have the power to change something now. And I forget who said it, but artists, I truly believe that an artist's job is to tell the story of our current, you know, state, like the current state of society. And there's a lot to say right
Yeah,
now.
there sure
Um,
is. Well, with that in mind, I know that you're accustomed to taking, like, going after many things, many opportunities at once. So, I'm going to ask, like, what's a donut you're taking right now that you can talk about? And you might be choosing from a lot of different things. What comes up for you?
Sure. No, this is a great question because at this point, I'm lucky enough to say that I get to start saying no to things, so that's exciting. I get to try to say no. Not very good at that, but am just kind of starting like a new round of applications, just because there's like sort of a season around when different festivals put out their calls, their open calls. So I just recently, like, I had a great year last year. I had a bunch of new work to update my website with and like revamped my artist statement. That's kind of where I'm at right now, actually, is like I'm rewriting my artist statement. Um, and writing it from a perspective that's not just about trying to quote get into the things that I'm trying to get into, but really what is it that I actually want to say? Like, as I have a lot, and I've been in this sort of what I'll call like a training period, or like I've been working my way into the things and the circles and the networks that I want to be in, and now what? Like, and so coming at this like year's or this season's like applications, I'm digging into not just the grind, but like what really actually matters, to me. And what I really want to see in the world. Um, Not just working on like achieving the next thing, if that makes sense. So
What a
it's kind
great
of
place to get to. I want to say
yeah,
congratulations to that because
thank,
it's
thank
like
you.
you can only wish that you could get to that point when you're starting out, you know? And
Yeah.
here you are. So good.
And I need to thank you. And I need to tell myself and remind myself that I'm not just starting. I haven't, it's been a couple years now since I've started. So it's like there was I forget who said this to me or some friend, one of my friends said to me that, you stop being an imitation, of yourself. Like it's take the step like actually into it. And so as far as like the directly answering your question about taking the donut, um, I'm applying to more international uh, venue events and organizations because that's why do I want to be an international artist? I can't exactly tell you that at this point, but it's like this feeling of I just know there's more to learn. I know there's more outside of the space that I'm in that I've grown up in. I'm really lucky to have grown up in California, been able to travel, have connections in other places. Like I got to study abroad during college. Like I have a good amount of, alternate experiences under my belt, but it's just not, there's so much more. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much more. And I feel like that's part of my job as an artist is to like learn as much as I can about things that I don't know anything about.
This is amazing.
And to
Well,
be,
I hope that process goes well for you to get some of those
thank you.
international jobs.
Yeah.
So there may be people who are listening to this who have a donut of their own they want to take. Maybe it's just an idea. Maybe they've started and they're like trying to find the inspiration to keep going. So let's sprinkle some encouragement. What would you say to those people?
Um, I would say, oh gosh, I mean, back to what I said earlier, you have to believe. Like it's so the magic's real, you have to believe. And rejection is totally okay. Like it is so okay. And many rejections are okay. Like that is something, it's the hardest. It's also okay to not feel rejected. Like, because that's something I've noticed too, is people go, "Well, I don't have what it takes." Well, I mean, yeah, part of it's hard and part of it sucks to be told this is what we want, you're there's a whole range of emotions that come along with being an active creative human, but it's all okay. Like, so if you did get the rejection and it was bad, and you feel bad about it, it's like all that is still okay. If you don't, how do I say this? Making stuff feels better than anything else. So whatever that is, it doesn't have to be an artistic product, of any kind, but making stuff is what we humans do. And I think if we don't, that's where the problems arise. Like when our minds don't have something to focus on, that's when they do a bunch of funky stuff that isn't helpful for
Yeah.
us, for those around us, for the world, etc. Um, so creativity is in everything, and I think I hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm not an artist." I'm like, "Well, yeah, depends on what your definition is." Like, I'm a visual artist. Yes, I'm a muralist. I have specific like, use for my creativity, but I have a lot of other uses for it too. I mean, the classic is cooking. If you cook, you're a creative person. Like, everybody is creative in my mind. It's just a matter of, do you foster it? Do you practice it? Do you believe in it? Um, and that would be my biggest sprinkle, handful of sprinkles is freaking believe and try. Like, make bad art and it's cool. Like, the world needs bad art. Like, the act of making it is what really matters.
I think you've
Whatever it
gotten
is.
everybody excited about it now. I mean, everybody's going to go out there and start doing the things. That's
Start doing
it.
the
Go get
things.
creative. So for
Yeah.
those of us who want to follow your journey, for those of us who want to see all the international festivals you're about to take part in, where can we find you? Where can we follow you? What links should I put in the
Um,
description?
You can do. I have a couple Instagrams. One is at Erika, Erika dot Rosendale, Rosendale. That's kind of my main page. I call myself a site specific artist as well, like in the way of I I come to the space to work with the space and enhance the space. And that's what that account is more about. And I also do like set design and scenic art and other fun things. And then Critter Marks at KRITR, Critter spelled terribly wrong, dot Marks, MARKS, at Critter Marks is my um, more fun all wall work. I think it's pretty much all aerosol. It's public art. It's a public art page. So you can check out both of those. And then erikarosendale.com. ErikaRosendale.com.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll make sure to put all those links in the description. Everybody be sure to check out
Awesome.
those resources. And if you liked hearing Erika's story, be sure to like and subscribe on this video because there's so many inspirational interviews still to come. In the meantime, Erika, thank you so much for taking some time and chatting with
Yes.
me about taking the donut.
Absolutely. I love everything about the metaphor is really perfect. I really appreciate it because so much of it is about just going for it and believing that it's going to work out somehow, one way or
I have
another.
a lot of fun with it. I sure do. Oh my goodness. Well, okay, everybody, you know what to do. Go out there, get inspiration, and get donuts.
Get the done.
Bye, everyone.